Hey guys, this is Mrs. Frazier, and I am going to go through your notes for today. So we are looking still at systems of equations. So what you need for this video, you need a highlighter. Oops, see, a highlighter. Okay, it doesn't matter which color, but this will just help you so you can highlight important pieces of information. And you also need a graphing calculator. Okay, so make sure you have that now. And I guess I should also say you need a pencil. Okay, if you don't have those things, pause the video and go find them. Okay, so we are going to get things going here. So Shannon's graph these linear equations. Y equals 2x minus 3. Y equals negative 3x plus 7. So let's go ahead and just identify which line is which. Now, if we look at the first one, 2x minus 3, I grab my highlighter. Okay. 2x minus 3 has a positive slope and a y-intercept of negative 3. So it's my blue line, and I'm going to highlight it yellow, so you can highlight yours yellow too, so ours will match. Okay? And then my other line, if you have a second color, you can use it. I know I said only use one. You can leave the other one just plain. I'm going to highlight mine. But my other line has a negative slope because it's falling, and a y-intercept of positive 7. Okay? So we're going to go on, identify the values of x and y that simultaneously satisfy these two linear equations. Okay, so I want to find the point of intersection, in other words. So my point of intersection right here is 2 is my x value, and 1. Don't get confused that we still write our coordinates as x, comma, y. So 2 and 1. Okay, so the whole point of this lesson is actually to be focusing on the calculator. So now that we see this here, we're actually going to move to your calculator to prove this on our calculator. Okay, so we're going to use your calculator to determine the values that simultaneously satisfy these two linear equations using a graph. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to flip back to my screen so I can see my first equation was 2x minus 3. Okay, and I can say y equals. And my second one was y equals negative 3x plus 7. So on your graph, you're going to graph the two lines on your calculator. So you can see right here in my first screen, so I'm paying attention to, let's grab my highlighter, paying attention to this screen right here. On your home screen, you're going to go locate your graph. Okay? So find that U shape, go to that graph. After you locate that and go to that graph, a graph should pop up. Okay? And you are going to type in the top. So we're not quite to B yet, but at the top you're going to type in these two equations. Now remember, the y is already manually put in for us. So you don't have to type in y. So the only piece, grab my pen again, that you are typing in is 2x minus 3. And then you're going to hit enter. And then you're going to type in negative 3x plus 7. Hit enter. Now, you might have a hard time seeing your graph. So that's what B is showing you here. Okay, once you have your two lines graphed, you should hit menu. Okay, and then you're going to hit the number 6 or analyze graph, which is located right here. And then you're going to hit the number 4, which is intersection. Okay, so you're going to menu, pressing the number 6, and then pressing the number 4. And that should take you to straight to your point of intersection on your graph. Okay, so you can kind of see, here it is. Oops, you can see my point of intersection right there. And you should be able to see that Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth. You should be able to see that on your graph where your point of intersection is. Okay? And we already know what that point was. We already saw it. So now we're going to actually take, let me erase that. We're going to take that calculator and we're going to pull up a table. Okay, so we are going to generate a table from those graphs so that we can see how these relate to each other on the table. Okay, so to create a table for our situation, we are going to graph the equation. We already graphed the equations on our calculator, and now we're going to actually hit menu again, and then the number 7. Okay, menu again, then the number 7. So we're right here, number 7, number 1. So menu, number 7, and 1. Okay. Okay, so this is going to pull up a table. So our menu will always take us to those. And then we're going to hit number 1 so we can get a split screen table. So we can get both of our tables in there. And then we can use our table to actually satisfy, to see the points that satisfy our graph. Okay, so we already know it's 2 and 1. It's marked there for us. So on my table, I can actually see 2 and 1. Okay, so my x value is 2, and for both of my functions, or for both of my linear relationships, my output is 1. Okay, and that's when where my point of intersection is, 2 and 1. Okay, so you're going to try some yourself now. So some of you on number 4, if you'll pay attention, you actually don't have these equations here. So if you'll pause the video and make sure you fill in the y equals negative 2/3 x plus 2 and the y equals x minus 8. So go ahead and do that now. Okay, number 4, Clayton graphed the following system of equations on a coordinate grid. Verify that the point of intersection is 6 and negative 2 using a table on your graphing calculator. Use the tables below to record the information from your calculator. Okay, so right now I want you to pause your video. I want you to see if you can type in these 2 equations. Okay, so remember to go through the same steps that you did before. You're going to type in negative 2/3 x plus 2. Then you're going to type in y equals x minus 8. And then we will check. Okay, so you should have paused and tried doing this yourself. Okay, so remember you start by going to your graph. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and type in the negative 2/3 x plus 2, and then we hit enter. And then you should be typing in x minus 8, and you should hit enter. Okay, after you've typed in the 2, you should see the graph, but if you can't see where your point of intersection is, remember we're going to hit menu. Okay, and I need to go back and check what my next step was. So after we hit menu, going back to here, we need to hit the number 6, or analyze our graph. And then we need to find our point of intersection. So I believe that that was number 4. So we're hitting number 6 and then number 4. Okay, so after we've done that, we should be able to pull up our table. So we're going to hit menu, and then we're going to find the option that says table and hit the screen. Okay, so from there, you should be pulling up what your table is, and what you should see is in my first function, negative 2/3 x, or my first linear relationship, negative 2/3 x plus 2. When x is 0, y should be 2. Okay, when x is 3, y should be 0. And when x is 4, when x is 6, y is -2. Okay, my next one, x minus 8. When x is 0, y is -8. When x is 3, y is -5. And when x is 6, y is -2. Make sure you see this on your table on your calculator. If you're needing some help, pause the video, go ask your teacher now to help you with this. Okay, so what is my point of intersection? Where do they intersect? What is the solution to my graph? So my solution to my graph is always the point of intersection that is the same. So for both of them, I can see that I have 6 and -2. Okay. Verify that the point of intersection is 6 and -2. And notice that it actually told me that. So that's all you're doing, is verifying that, is proving that, and which is what we did with our calculator. Okay, so I want you to go through the same process with number 5. You should pause your video. You should check, you should try to enter these into your calculator yourself, and you should try to find your point of intersection yourself before you check. And actually, we are not going to check this one on the video. Please turn into your teacher, turn in number 5, or check number 5 with teacher before you move on. Once you've checked with your teacher and you've been okayed, then you can go ahead and start on the next activity in class.